On behalf of Civil Engineering Department, myself Mamta Rajgor, I welcome to ma'am. First of all, I would like to introduce ma'am, our guest speaker. Her name is Pooja ma'am. She is a research scholar and pursuing her doctorate from GTU. She has done her bachelor's from BVM and her master's in CPM from SAP University. She has a blended experience of industry and the academics over 7 years. She has done some healthy research in the sector of lean management. I welcome ma'am on behalf of Civil Department. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me share my video too. Okay, so let's begin. Ma'am, others are yet to join, or shall I start?
Ma'am, please start.
Okay, fine. So, very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Pooja Gohil, and currently I am doing my research on lean construction. So, basically, I'm a person from CPM background. Fine. So, today I'm going to discuss something about SPI-S, which will be a part of quality management in a construction industry. Fine. So let's start with 5S. But before that, let's understand what we mean by quality. As 5S is a part of quality management, we should know that what we mean by quality. This is the word we often use or we hear in our day-to-day life, right? Quality is something we know. But let's see the technical definition of a quality. So this is the layout, how I'm going through my presentation. Fine, I will start with the introduction of quality, just a brief overview about its history, and then I will begin with my actual topic, which is 5S, its applications, how we can use it in construction industry with a case study. If you have any questions, you may ask me at the end. Fine. So starting with the simple definition of a quality. So as far as ISO, International Organization for Standardization, is concerned, it defines quality as something. It's a characteristics which are. Sorry. Hello. Anyone is having any doubt?
No, ma'am. Please continue.
Okay, fine. So, what is quality? Nothing but a characteristic which any entity or thing has just to satisfy the stated or implied needs, right? That's the simple definition of a quality. That whatever entity is constructed for or is manufactured for, it should fulfill that need. That's it. If it fulfills the needs, it is said that it has a good quality. And if not, then we can say that the entity doesn't have a good quality. Fine. This was just a simple definition. Now, if we talk about construction projects, so as far as construction projects are concerned, this is one organization which we all are familiar with, ASCE, which is American Society of Civil Engineers. So they define quality for construction projects as it's the fulfillment of project responsibilities in delivering the products and services in such a way that it will meet whatever our customer or our owner expects and whatever the stated requirements are. So this is the simple meaning of quality for construction projects. For whatever reason we are building or we are constructing that project, it should fulfill that need at the end of the day. That's it. If it is fulfilling, that means the product or project is of a good quality. If not, we should consider quality and we should think over it. The project should be modified or it should be of a better quality. Fine. This is just a simple definition of quality. The image over here, if you see right side, that's the PDCA cycle, plan, do, check, act. Now, why I have kept this image, I will just like to say that various gurus or various philosophers have given different definitions for quality. Even various organizations are giving their own definitions for quality. But one among them Mr. Edwards. So he is known as the founder of quality, a father of quality. So he has given this one of the concepts of PDCA cycle: plan, do, check, and act. So that's why this is the concept given by Dr. Edwards, and that's why I have kept this image. So various philosophers or various gurus have given various other concepts too, like one of them is 5S, one such is just in time, lean construction, Ishikawa. So all these concepts are given by different gurus. The gurus, the known for their work or detailed research in quality are few of them are Joseph Juran, then as I said Dr. Edwards, then Ishikawa, from whose name the Ishikawa diagram is famous. So all these gurus or all these philosophers have given their deep knowledge to the society, and based on that, even today the new and new areas or new and new innovations are going on in the field of quality. So we can say quality is still in a research, and we can do lots of things in the quality as far as construction projects are concerned. So brief history of quality. So quality's history goes as much long as up to 4 to 5,000 years ago, right? As and when mankind was there, quality concept has begun. It's just that its name is keep on changing from different eras. From the writings, we can say that initially it was known as quality inspection, just to inspect the things after they are done. Then we started with controlling the quality of the products that have already been manufactured. Later on came quality assurance. That means before manufacturing or during the process of construction, we should check quality. And now, nowadays, in today's world, all these concepts have gone, and the latest concept is total quality. That means you have to consider all the phases of construction, right from beginning of the inspection inception to planning to construction to maintenance part, right? So earlier quality was just concerned in the maintenance period, then came the quality control, we have to control during the process, then came assurance just before even the construction work, we have to assure the quality, and in today's world we have to check quality in all the phases of construction. Fine. So what is latest? It's a TQM, total quality management. So total quality management means you have to consider your whole organization. You have to consider all your clients, customers, contractors, all the agencies including the financial and everyone, those who are associated with your construction project, and you have to manage all the systems. That's what TQM means. We can say actually the concept of quality was more emerged during the World War II, when it became an integral part of the overall business, and it focused on the customer satisfaction. So though the quality is 4,000 to 5,000 years old, but actual concept started with World War II, when the actual need of quality came into picture. So then onwards, it became known as TQM. And as I said, it has three components: organization, customer, and managing all the systems. So this is what TQM means. And nowadays, with the education, with the you can say with the awareness, customers are demanding for more and more quality from the builder, from the contractor. So that's why now it's a time to change our construction processes. It's the time to think about out of the box and to keep the quality in mind. If we are aware of, there's a famous triangle known as project management triangle, or also known as iron triangle, right? So what it says, we have to consider three parameters, that is time, cost, and scope in mind, keeping quality at the center. We should not neglect quality at all. So nowadays quality is given much more importance. So we can say it's just past 20 years or just 2 decades back, there was not much awareness about quality, but since last 2 decades a revolution has came, and quality's improvement or quality standards has raised. Even customers are now demanding for higher performance, for faster products, for less defects. Earlier the concept was once we make it later on, especially for payments, right? Best examples are the highways or the roads, we even city roads. Once the monsoon is gone, we can see that there are a lot of potholes in the pavement. So what was the concept earlier? The concept was once we are done with the construction, during maintenance we will keep on repatching and resealing and all of the pavement. But now the concept is coming that it's better to build a road once and in a better condition and with improved quality rather than going for maintenance, because ultimately going for multiple number of maintenance means you are ultimately wasting your time and increasing your cost. So that's why nowadays quality is given importance, and we should go for right thing at the right time, at the first preference, at the first trial, right, rather than going for maintenance and other things. So today the culture of good teamwork as well as corporation at all the levels is required for the betterment of the construction industry. Earlier it was that just the lower middle persons who are dealing with the project, just they have to talk about quality, and top management was not at all concerned with the quality. They were not dealing with it, or they were not ready to accept the changes. But in today's era, in the competitive market, each and every person at each and every level of the organization, they should focus on quality. So this is because of this reason nowadays more and more research has been done that how to improve quality, right? Keeping time, cost and cost again in the mind. Right. So now let's actually start with our today's topic, which is 5S. As the name suggests, there are 5S or 5 words starting with the S letter or S alphabet. Actually, this is not an Indian or this is not an English concept. This is the concept from a Japan. Fine. So it's a Japanese concept. So these 5 words are in Japanese language. We have translated them to the equivalent English words. So what are these 5 Japanese words? They are Siri, Siaton, Siso, Shiketsu and Shitsuke. These are the 5 Japanese words, and based on that, we have converted or translated them to 5 English words. We will see it later on. So basically, 5S is a concept or it's a philosophy. Obviously, it's originated in Japan. Few says it was originated by one philosopher named Odasa. Few says it was developed by Mr. Hian. Okay, so that's still a debatable question that who developed it, but however it was developed in Japan, and you can say that this is the root cause for the development of just in time concept. This led to the development of just in time concept. So 5S is even established or even developed earlier than just in time. Again, it's also a Japanese concept, JIT. Fine. So 5S is a philosophy. How it goes? It's a way of organizing and managing your workspace. So it was developed for a manufacturing industry. Again, just in time, same thing. It was first developed for a manufacturing firm, and then we thought that if it is good enough or it is successful in manufacturing industry, why can't we use the same for the construction industry? So gradually its use has spread in other industries too, and today we as a construction industry are also using these concepts. So it's a way of organizing and managing our workspace and our workflow with a goal to improve our efficiency. How? By eliminating 3 things: waste, improving flow, and by reducing our process unreasonableness. So we can say 5S concept is based on 3 main pillars: Muri, Mura and Muda. Okay, we can achieve 5S by reducing these 3 things. What is Mura? Overburden or unreasonableness or absurdity. Mura, unevenness or inconsistency. And Muda, the activity which is wasteful or which doesn't have value. So we have to reduce them. If not completely eliminate, we can try to minimize, or we can try to reduce these unwanted things in our project, and thereby we can achieve 5S. So the goal of 5S is nothing but to create a clean, uncultured environment which will allow the persons or the people working over there to do their jobs without wasting their time and by lowering the risk of injury. Fine. So it's better to create a clean workspace so that the efficiency can be improved. So they have to deal with human beings rather than any other concept. Fine. So this is our 5S. So now, as the name says, what are these 5S? I said their names in the Japanese term. Okay, Japanese language, and their translations in English are: first, to sort; second, to set the things in order; third, to shine; fourth, to standardize the process; and fifth, to sustain it. So these are the 5 words which can be, you can say this is nothing but a cycle. We have to go through these 5 words in order to accomplish a set goal. If we achieve all these things, we can say that we have completed the 5S concept successfully. Fine. So let's deal with all these 5 words one by one. First, Siri, which means sort. This is the simplest thing which we are doing, even doing in our day-to-day life. To sort out things is nothing a big deal, and we often do at our workplaces, at our work, at our home. Our mothers usually sort out our stuff, or they even you can say that knowingly or unknowingly we are using the some part of this concept in our day-to-day life. So first, sort out the things. So we have to distinguish between the things which are necessary and which are not, and obviously which we don't want, get rid of them and keep them aside. So that's the simple thing, or first step which we have to do in 5S. Second, as an organization, you should ask your staff or employees to take all the things which they think they are not needed. Thereby, you can improve their understanding about the need and usage. So that's a simple activity. You even students can do it. Fine. You should just take the things that which all things are necessary for you and which all are not. The one which are not, keep them aside. Fine. By doing so, you can just make your speed. You can speed up your efficiency. That the things which you don't want won't be around you, and you can easily find out the thing which you require as and when it is required. Okay, so that's the first step. Sort out your things. Second simple step: once you have done with the sorting, the things which are required by you, you should keep them at a proper place. Fine. There is a famous saying: a place for everything and everything in its place. Can anyone tell who has said this famous phrase? Please, anyone can share? Anyone from the students? This is a famous saying. So anyone knows who has said that? Okay, fine. So it was said by Dr. Benjamin Franklin. Okay, a place for everything and everything in its place. So set in order is nothing but practice of orderly storage, so that the right item can be picked efficiently without wasting your time at the right time, and it is easy to access for everyone. So sorting and set in order we also do at our day-to-day life at our home also, as well as our workplaces also, right? And then, so we should identify and allocate a place for each and every material which will be required by us. Even we do it for our books, for our laptop, mobile, everything. We have a fixed place for each and everything, whatever we use in our day-to-day life, right? So same thing, you should assign places and quantity and then make it as compact as possible. Try to reduce the workplace or space to a small extent, and don't spread your material or your thing over a large area. By doing so, you will waste your time if you spread your things over a large area. So try to minimize the workspace and allocate fixed location to each and everything, only which are required. and remove the unwanted things from your area or nearby places. That's the second point. Third point, once we are done with this, we are not ending over here. We have to create a clean work site as much as possible. Remove your dirt, dust, garbage so that problems can be easily identified, right? Dusting is to be done. We should keep our place clean, neat. Okay, we should keep garbage in dustbin rather than spreading it over the floor. uh, because it's a said that once if you keep your workplace clean, you can increase your efficiency, and it will help you in, you can say, um, creating a better environment for the others too. Fine. So you should identify the root causes why your dirtness or why garbage occurs, and then correct your process so that you can reduce your unwanted wastage. That fine. You should keep your equipments, your material, your tools. As far as construction industry is concerned, we deal with material and equipment. Fine. So we should keep all those things in a neat and clean position, in a good to use, ready to use per condition, so that as and when you require it, you doesn't need to dust it. Okay, or you doesn't need to clean it. It should be clean and in a neat and top position. Fine. So obviously, just spend 5 minutes a day for the cleanliness activity. That should be our daily habit, that should spend just 5 minutes in a day to keep all the stuffs neat and clean. We should also ensure that we will get proper lighting. If we have proper lighting, we can easily find out if there is any dirt or dust near us or around us. Fine. So that's why air, ventilation, lighting, all these things are required. I guess you must have studied all these things in safety too. That you should have proper lighting on your site, you should have proper air ventilation, keep your site neat and clean, keep your material at a proper position in a stack order or whatever. So all these things we are often doing unknowingly at our sites, and hence we are following FIRE's concept to some extent, even without knowing. Okay, so that's the third step, shine. Once you are done with shine, that doesn't mean that you are done with your process. You should standardize your process. You should set some standards for each and every practice, right? So setting up standards for neat, clean workplace should be in your mind. Standardization of best practices will be done through the visual management. You should observe it, and that's the best way to go for standardization. Fine. Create a workflow in such a way that you can maintain your standard, which define roles and responsibilities. You should give different roles and responsibilities to different persons on your side so that the process or the flow can be maintained. Make it easy for each and every person to identify that which of the conditions are normal and which are abnormal, right? You should keep photos on the walls, on the bulletins, and provide them with the visual management or visual ideas. You should keep like photographs, that if such is the condition of your workplace, that means it's a safe, hygienic, and you can use this workplace. If such is the condition, then you cannot use it, right? So rights and wrongs or do's and don'ts you should keep on a bulletin. You can even keep photographs on the desk or on the walls, and thereby the lower people actually who are dealing with the day-to-day activities, the supervisor, engineer, the laborers, and below them, so they should maintain this standard procedure. And it is difficult to keep them doing all these things, to make them understand what are the standards, right? They usually reject our thing at first sight, right? So it's difficult to keep them understand, or to make them understand that please, hygiene and cleanliness is required and it is necessary for the better efficiency. Okay. Once we are done with standardization, it is not that we have done for once and it is over. Sustainability is the biggest, or is the critical part of this whole concept. Usually people become lazy when they are done with the one project. They says, okay, I have done it once, I don't want to follow this procedure second time. No, that's wrong concept, or that's a wrong thinking. You should contain or you should sustain your this practices, your behavior throughout your life cycle, throughout the other projects too. So sustainability is the toughest part. So, implementing behaviors and habits to maintain the established standards over a long period of time and making the workplace organization the key to managing the process for success. This should be in your mind that if you will make your workplace neat and clean, that's the best key for your success. So, sustainability is the toughest part, and many fall short of this goal. First four steps still people are doing, but the last step many few or very few are following. So you should not lack in this part. So establish your responsibilities, divide them in different peoples, and then try to maintain them. It requires a leadership commitment to follow this process throughout. Fine. So each and every person should become a leader, and he and she himself should follow this concept. Everyone should stick to the rules and should make it a habit. So participation of everyone involved in an organization or involved in a construction project is required, and thereby you can complete this whole concept or you can achieve it successfully. Even if a single level of your organization is not following it, that means you will fail in this concept. Okay, so this is the 5S concept. Now, what 5S can do? From the definitions, we can see that it can definitely lead to higher quality by reducing the defects to even zero, right? So, you can also improve your productivity. Your means your laborers' productivity. You can identify the waste and you can easily try to reduce or make it zero. Fine. If you can do it, that's the best part. Zero waste will lead to the lower cost. But if not zero, try to reduce the waste. Even other concepts like lean, Six Sigma, they also talk on the same parameters or on the same ground. Everyone is focusing on reducing the defects, reducing the waste. So, and nowadays it is necessary to minimize waste in order to go for a betterment of your project. Fine. So zero delays obviously will lead to a on-time delivery. So delaying is not a good concept, and that's why we should try to reduce the delays and we should try to make it zero. We should try to reduce the defect, we should try to reduce the waste, even injuries. If you study safeties, injuries are not a good sign on a construction project and they should be reduced. So zero injuries, safety should be promoted. Breakdowns in the equipments of machinery, they should be reduced. So zero breakdowns will definitely bring the better maintenance. So if you actually genuinely incorporate 5S in your project, you can do or you can achieve all these things. So now the question is, if 5S is very successful in manufacturing industry, why can't we achieve the same thing or why can't we adopt it in our construction industry? Ultimately, all these problems are also, we are facing also the same problems in our construction industry. So why can't we use it? So definitely we should use or we should try to incorporate 5S in our day-to-day construction projects. Okay, just a small picture which will show you that what is the difference between 5S implementation before and after in a workplace. Okay, so the left one, it is before implementing 5S. As you can see, it's a messy, things are here and there, and if you want to find anything, it will be difficult for you. So when the time will be right, you won't be able to find out the thing which is actually required at that point of time. It looks messy. You can see garbages over here. You can see this is an open box. Tools are here. Some tools are lying on the ground. Boxes are here and there. So this is not a good sign. Fine. You yourself will get confused. As you can see in the picture, the person is getting confused and he is not able to focus on the productivity. After implementing 5S, if the things are in a proper way, if a proper manner, if you require something, you can immediately pick up that thing and you can move on to next task. So just a simple image which can help you in understanding what is before 5 years and after 5 years at your workplace. Okay, so 5S is nothing but a simple concept of organizing your workplace, keeping it neat and clean, and then making it a habit to do it continuously or a day to day. So this is before and after 5 years. So various industries have implemented 5 years. 5 years can be implemented in medical sector, in manufacturing, in government, in industries, in education, in other things like software, information, media, etc. One simple example I can give you, medical store. Whenever we go to a medical store and we ask for a medicine, right, the person will check its location in a computer, and then he will go directly to that place and he will take out our medicine and will come to us. Because in a medical store there are number of medicines available, and if they don't follow this procedure, if they don't stack it properly, if they don't tag it properly, then it will be tedious task for them to find out a simple single medicine. Same way, even in a library, when we go to library and we want to find out a book, where it is located, how we do it, we go to a computer and we search that book's name with the help of title or author. Then that computer will tell us that it's so and so place or so and so rack, you will find out your book. Then it becomes easy for us to go and find out a book. If not, and if someone says that go to library and find out a random book, how you will do it? That will be definitely a tedious task, and it will require much number of much time, as well as it will also waste your time and energy. So that's why application of 5S is knowingly or unknowingly used at several places, and even in construction industry we should go for it. Just simple example similar to the previous one. There is a mechanic's shop. We call it a garage. Fine. So let's see. We are using 5S at an auto mechanic shop. Shop contains different types of tools, plants, and equipments for the repairing work and work related to you can say automobiles, right? So consider an auto mechanic shop where you have equipments. First thing what we will do is we will specify as a location to each and every tool. Okay, and then when they are not in use, we should keep them at that specific location. By doing so, whenever we will require it, we can easily get it, and we can minimize our waste, or we can minimize our time. Fine. At that point of time we will just think that, oh, it's just a 1 minute's matter, but when you multiply it with the number of days in a year, you can actually see that, oh, you have saved a ample of time. So first and foremost thing, for even a small mechanic shop, you should assign specific locations to all the tools. Then compared to that, you have, whenever you want to search, you should not go around the whole area searching for a single tool. Fine, you should go to that specific location, and that you can get it the tool very easily. So compared to having to search through a general tool area each and every time when something is needed, this will definitely save your countless hours each year and can also give you other advantages. Next, rather than just assigning a specific spot for an item, you should analyze that which item should be kept where and which is the best location for it. For example, the tool which is most frequently used should be kept in the front, which will be used rarely, that should be kept in a backside or in an area where it is not easily accessible. Fine. So rather than assigning a one spot, example, an air hose. That's the thing which will be constantly required by a mechanic. So it should be kept in such area which will be nearby you and which will be easily accessible. And the tool which is rarely needed on occasions should be stored in a way out of the location. Fine. A facility that is properly set in order can help you in operating more better way and more efficiently. So in a mechanic's garage, make sure all your machineries are lubricated. It should not be the case that when you need a tool, you will first do it a lubrication and all, and then you will start using it. In that case, you are definitely wasting your lot of time. So all your tools should be what we call it as pre-maintenance. Rather than going for post-maintenance, all your machinery should be pre-maintained. Okay, should be kept at a proper location. The ones we need more should be kept in a nearby area. So this is on the top of wiping down your workstations, ensuring your tools are kept neat and clean, and cleaning all your mess away. So by doing so, what we are doing, we are following our 5S concept. So that's why I'm saying knowingly or unknowingly, we are definitely following this concept in our day-to-day life. Even a small mechanic can follow this concept. If this can be done in small shops, then why not in the construction industry? So that's the question. Okay, one such another example is a firm named Kaiser. They have implemented 5S in a small project. The project was Permanent Colorado's Medicaid Enrollment Project. Fine. The team which was enrolled for the project, they used 5S in such a way that they got benefited. So what they did, they sorted out all the fields which were necessary for making a template, and they rejected or they removed the unnecessary fields. That was the first step they have done. So they have sorted out the fields. Second, the fields they have sorted out were set in a proper order based on their stakeholders' input. Their senior or their top management gave input, and based on that, they they set the fields they have sorted out in order. That was the second step done by them. Thirdly, they achieved the shining by creating a Microsoft Access database. Fine, you know Microsoft Access, that's the software easily available in all the laptops. So using them, they created a database so that the duplicate entries are not allowed. None of the things or none of the rows in a template are duplicated. Fine, so they keep that in mind. Then using Excel, they standardize the process and they standardize the template using spreadsheet, and they protect it. The spreadsheet was standardized by protecting it and making as a fixed template. Last and important point was self-sustaining system. Once they are done with the process, they have to make a template, that's fine. But now is the step to make it a habit to follow this process. So they developed a self-sustaining system using Microsoft Access that can help them to control the data format as well as duplication. Whenever we are preparing a format, we should keep this in mind that none of the items or none of the labels are getting repeated. Okay, so keeping this in mind, they created one standard template and they started using it. So this is small example how you can use your 5S. Okay, so these were apart from construction projects. Now talking about construction projects, so for us, mainly we can focus on material as well as equipment where we can follow this concept. We all know our projects are temporary in nature, right? And we have to store our material in covered as well as open areas. We have to store it in both the places. So whenever we are talking about covered, a proper stack yard or proper store should be there, and each and everything should be stored in a nicely stacked way. Okay, it should not be that whenever we require one thing, first we have to move all the things in front of it and then we can go for that thing. Usually that should not be the case. Fine. So the contractor who is working on site, he has to keep all the material in the available space, right? Whatever space he has for the store, he should utilize it in such a way that he can keep all the material in a neat and clean position along with ready to use condition. As I said, whenever we need a equipment or whenever we need a material, it should be in ready condition. It is not the case that we should first go for cleaning it and then we should go for using it. No, that will waste a lot of time. So it should be in ready to use condition. It should be easily accessible. Area should be safe and risk free for free movement of any person. No doubt the person who is dealing with the store will definitely know about the places and about the risk, but the persons who are unknown or unaware about the things, even they should move freely. Then you can say that you have achieved the this cleanliness and you have achieved this concept. So the contractor is responsible for building such a facility, for providing all the resources that are required for a project. So that will be the contractor's responsibility for keeping these things in a neat and clean, for keeping material, equipments in a nearby area and in a neat and clean place and ready to use condition. No doubt, for once you will definitely require time to do all these things, but if you will make it a habit and if you will do it on day to day basis, definitely you can save much of your time. Fine. So whenever you are dealing with the storage layout, you should keep these three things in mind. First, regarding documents, so construction documents should specify that what number of equipments do you have on your site. So minimum number of construction equipments required, machinery required, tool required on a particular project, they should be documented or noted down. Second, what all materials are used in a project, they should be used or they should be documented in your what we call it as a BOQ or BOM, bill of materials or bill of quantity. And based on that, you should list out that you have so and so quantity of material and they are stacked at so and so places. Apart from that, what are the consumables and what are not? So consumables are required by the contractor to fabricate, to install or to assemble the panels or to material or equipment. Consumers, that means diesel, petrol, which cannot be regained back, right? So those things you should keep at one side. The materials which will be used at later stage should be kept at one side. Then the equipments which are rarely used should be kept at one side. So a systematic organization of material as well as equipments is required for your construction projects. As a part of your subject, I guess you must have studied even job layout. So what is job layout? Nothing but to frame a layout for your each and everything, that where you will keep your machinery, where you will keep your material, where will you go for work, how to keep laborers or the labor colony. So you have to plan all these things. So basically you will do this at the planning stage. Fine. So now I'm talking about one small case study which we have actually implemented, where we have actually implemented 5S. Yeah, one more thing you can see over here, safety. So in today's world, even 6S is getting merged with your 5S concept, which is safety. Nowadays, safety is also getting merged with your 5S concept, and obviously safety is an important criteria to be kept in mind. Fine. So keeping safety in mind, keeping 5S in mind, you should prepare a proper layout at your planning stage, and accordingly you should go for it, or you should follow this procedure even in the construction phase and maintenance phase. So this is a small case study. Fine. It's a Adina Shantiniketan place. Okay, the area of the site is 31,392 meters square. They have 8 number of towers, residential towers. Okay, contractor was SMIPL and client was Adina itself. So they were going to build 530 flats in total, and the built up area for each and every tower was 2340 meters square. Number of stories in each and every tower is 4 stories. So this is a basic brief outline about the site. So you can understand that it's a 4-story residential towers, 8 number of towers. Now over here, as it's a residential part, plastering is an important activity. Fine. So plastering will be of two types: internal plastering as well as external plastering, and third part is ceiling plastering. Fine. And over here the masonry work was done in a blocks. So 8-inch blocks were used for masonry, and fourth important that's why activity is a block work. Fine. If we talk about activities value in a meter square, so definitely block work will cover huge value. It is 950 meter square area, while ceiling plastering laced one 385 meter square, external plastering 451, while internal is more, it is 475 meter square value. So the number of masons used in all four activities are 65, 58, 46, and 72 accordingly. So you can see in the block 8-inch block work, that's a big thing and we should focus on it. So these are the four activities we have collected data for. Then we have implemented our 5S concept in it and we can see the difference. Okay, so keeping this number of work masons, okay, before 5 years these are the number of masons 65, 58, 46, 72. After applying 5 years we are first reducing the number of masons. In internal wall plastering we have reduced from 65 number to 46, in external from 58 to 48, ceiling we haven't reduced the masons, and in the 8 block inch work we have reduced 2 masons. So number of masons are reduced, but at the same time you can see the productivity which we have achieved. Fine. Simple example, if ceiling plastering we talk about, keeping one parameter constant, which is number of masons, we can see the difference between productivity. We have improved productivity to roughly 90 meters square, right? Even in others we can see over here in internal wall plastering, we haven't improved productivity, but we have reduced the number of masons. If we talk about external wall plastering, we have reduced number of masons, and at the same time we have improved productivity to some extent. And if we talk about last activity, which is the major one, we have reduced to number of masons and still we have increased the productivity value in meter square. So you can see the difference between 5 years implementation before and after. So either you can reduce masons or you can increase productivity or you can do both the things. So this is a real life example that actually you can bring change in your construction project after implementing your 5S. Same thing I have shown using graph. Okay, first the figure is for your internal plastering. You can compare both the figures. Second is for external plastering. So you can see a number of masons as well as productivity increase. Fine. Third, you can see for ceiling plastering, the number of masons are same, but productivity is increased. And last is 8 block. So over here, you have even reduced the masons and you have increased the value or you have increased the productivity. So from a real life example, I can say that definitely we can implement 5S concept in our construction projects. I can ensure you that if not big projects, start using it in small projects and see the difference. And gradually, if you are once you are used to it, then start implementing in big projects. Fine. So this is labor cost for a day in a construction project before 5 years and after 5 years. Fine. So you can see the difference. Even the labor cost is reducing. Right. Fine. So over here, I'm finishing my presentation. Anyone having any question may ask me. Any questions from your side? I hope you have understood the concept of 5S. Are you guys with me? Any question? Okay, so I guess there are no more questions from your side.
Ma'am, kindly go to your Facebook. There is a one question regarding this topic.
Facebook, okay. Wait a
Uh,
second. Ma'am, can you share your over here?
yeah, ma'am, sure. Sure, ma'am, sure. Wait a minute, I'll just explain the question.
Okay. Face.
Yes, yes, yes. Ma'am, the question is, the person who is belongs to civil quality engineering. So he is
Sorry,
interested.
the
One of the person who belongs to civil quality engineer,
hmm,
and his question is, how can this 5S help in his profession?
is a quality engineer, right?
Yes.
Hello,
May I repeat the question once again?
hello. Yeah, ma'am, can you type? Actually, your voice is cracking.
Yeah, sure,
He is
ma'am.
a quality engineer, right? And
Can you kindly go through the chat box, please?
his quality engineer, so he is interested to know that how the concept of IS help him in his profession. Okay, fine. I got his question. How 5S can be helped by a civil engineer? Okay, so as I said, well, I gave this case study, right? That you can knowingly or unknowingly we are using 5S in our construction projects too, fine. But mainly we should focus on material part, and when we are going for stacking of material, right, when we are talking about stores or stack yards, over there we should keep these things in mind when we are doing planning, right, when we are doing job layout, that what all equipments are most needed, or more, but they are the first needed in our projects. Identify them, keep them at the nearest location, fine. Then stack the other material which are less used by us during our project to at a distance, fine. Because see, ultimately we have a fixed area and we have a shortage of time for our project, so we have to figure out that where we will keep all our materials in such a way that I can minimize my time. I can give you one very good example. If we are talking about these blocks, right? So as and when you are going on next floor, you can shift some amount your blocks near the work is going on, near where your work is going on, right? So thereby you can increase the productivity of your labor. You can see over here a huge difference can be find out, or a huge difference in your productivity can you can see after implementing 5S. So normally what we do, we just stack all the material at one place, and from there we have to keep on constantly transporting where the work is going on. But better way is that stack the work near your activities, where your activity is going on. If not in a big quantity, stack in a small quantity, in such a way that it is not having a hindrance to any other person working around. The area should be neat and clean, so that when you are going to use the material, you should not first go for cleaning part. It should be already in ready to use condition, and once you are using this thing, or once you are following this concept in your day to day life, you can definitely see the changes in your habits or in your productivity. Fine. So definitely this will for quality engineer, this is the best part, or this is the best thing you can use 5S concept, right? Sort out all your materials, all your equipments, arrange them properly, and keep them neat and clean. Apart from even material or stackyard, the place where you are sitting, even there you should keep this concept and you should, in mind, and you should keep your area or working space neat and clean. Okay, the place where you are stacking your material, it should be properly organized. Equipments where you are stacking, or your labor colony where you are preparing. So all these things, all each and every small place, you can use your 5S concept. Is nothing but to keep it neat and clean, to standardize it, to use this standard process even in other projects, not only in a single project. So do you got it? I hope your query has been resolved.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you for your guidance.
Okay.
I request other participants, if you have any other queries, please write it down in the chat box. Mr. Sayyed Haidar, I
I
hope you
have a
have.
question to this engineer, that have you been on site? If you guys have been on site, you must be knowing that how actually material and equipment are stacked in a haphazard way in open space, especially cement. If you see, they just stack in a open space, and once if they don't take care of it, then at times there it is wastage in a huge amount. So there is the loophole where you should use this concept.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you. He has been to the site. He has replied it.
Any
He
other
has.
question?
Okay. I hope all your queries are cleared. Anyone else having any other queries left? You can ask it. You are feel free to ask. Ma'am, there is a question
Okay.
whether the implementation of 5S is a responsibility of a quality engineer or a safety officer.
As I said before, fire should be implemented by each and every person on site, not only safety engineer or quality engineer, even planning engineer, even project manager. Each and every person should adopt this concept. Then only you can get a better result.
Okay. Uh, I hope you got your answer, Sayyid Haidar. It is more or less a like responsibility of each and every entity who is working on the site, not only a
Exactly.
single person.
Right.
Any other queries? Okay. Uh, Thank you very much, ma'am, for fetching out your time. I would
Thank
like to
you.
thank you on behalf of Civil Department, PIT, and especially Parole University. We hope to have many more such sessions in the near future.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Okay.